Welcome to this special program, Reflections at 91, when we talk to His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Zimbabwe, Comrade Robert Gabriel Mugabe, on the occasion of his 91st birthday. My name is Chris Chivinge. Your Excellency, happy birthday. Makorokoto Amhlope.
Thank you.
And a warm welcome to this program. Another hectic year gone by. Your political stars continue to shine with age. You were re-elected President and First Secretary of the ruling party ZANU-PF at the 6th ZANU-PF National People's Congress. You are sitting at the helm of the SADC regional bloc. You are now the chairperson of the AU. This surely is Robert Mugabe on a roller coaster. Congratulations, Your Excellency.
Thank you.
How do you feel and how are you managing?
Well, I feel the load is heavy, but we can manage it from the strength that derives from experience, you see. I have been chairperson of these organizations before, whether it's SADC or COMESA or the AU. And so really it's going the same round as before. But of course, as you move onwards from year to year, the problems of yesterday, what you didn't fulfill yesterday, as a country, as a region, as an organization, and even as a continent, those things continue, you see, to be on your agenda all the time. They dog you, as it were. And you must find a solution to them, or if you did not have enough capacity, build that capacity up. And the best way is really for people to be meeting and talking and discussing, dialoguing, as it were, in order to find solutions to their problems. The problems will always be there, and that's why we talk of the need for solutions. Without challenges, you can never talk of solutions. Because there are no challenges.
There are no challenges.
There is satisfaction, a state of satisfaction, sufficiency perhaps. But we never get to that state of total adequacy, whether as individuals, as families, as organizations, or even as a region, not even as the world. And you can just look at us in any of those contexts, and you'll find lots of inadequacies. Shortages, perhaps of food, inadequacy, perhaps of the provision of social services, education, health, and then there is the side of life that is always sick. Illnesses, they dog us. New ones emerge. Ebola, HIV yesterday, Ebola now. I don't know what's going to emerge next year or the year after. And so problems exist as part of life. Part of life, and that's why we must prepare to meet the challenges of that part of life, which is a total negativity.
But looking at this, Your Excellency, you are 91. Some men and women of your age are confined to wheelchairs, some are incumbent by poor health. Where do you derive the strength to soldier on, really that defies your age?
I also ask myself where I derive the age, where I derive the energy. I just live from year to year. I've lived from year to year. Yes, I do certain things that I believe sustain life and sustain me. I must eat and eat well. Eating well is not filling my stomach. It's eating those foodstuffs which I believe sustain one most. And so you must eat well. That means really not go for food because it's attractive and you eat yourself until your tummy is full. No, we Zimbabweans like meat, but meat has protein which, if taken in quantities that the body cannot sustain, result also in your getting ill. If you don't have enough of protein, you also
get ill.
So, yes, I have some beef, and the doctors listen to them. I do listen to them. When they say the best meat is white meat, that of pork, that of chicken, that of fish, yes. But you see, having been bred on beef, you cannot do away with it at all. And from time to time you must take it. But take it in at those quantities which do not become a source of a problem by way of some disease, gout or whatever. And vegetables, take fruit every day. That's one, yes. When we were young at school, and we had the fortune of having a doctor, the whole doctor, Father Hay, very well trained, leading us. And he used to say, the best health for you children, is that you take at least a glass of milk every day and an egg every day. I followed his example until the doctors later told me, you can't be taking eggs every day. That, they say, also has its own problem. But perhaps a glass of milk every day. But I was not used to a glass of milk. My stomach doesn't take fresh milk directly. But fresh milk mixed with, say, a bit of rice or a bit of sadza, the stomach sustains it. But just fresh milk, a glass of
Okay.
I vomit it.
I see.
But sour milk, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Sour milk. By the way, I only started taking milk very late in life. I never liked it when I was young, even though I did milking for my grandmother and grandfather. But I liked the milk when it was cooked into, mixed with with flour or food to make manamba. Yeah, that I liked. But if a direct milk, no. I only took it, started taking sour milk in, I think, 1939.
Oh.
Now we had a brother Michael, Mary's brother, from Canada, who was in charge of agriculture. He had a BSc in agriculture.
Mm-hmm.
And there we were in Standard 5. Standard 5 or I think it's Standard 6 this time. Then Kutama had a head of cattle. And Brother Michael used
Still a
to...
Trotho farm?
Yes. And the boys, in turns, used to take the cattle to the dip every Thursday.
Okay.
2 boys. And it was our turn, Boniface Gumbo and myself, to drive the cattle to the dip, at the Manyame, beside the Manyame River.
All right.
Right. So, after we had done so and returned, seen the cattle well taken care of, Brother Michael then said, "You come." And the 2 of us followed him. And then he gave Boniface and I, each of us, a cup of sour milk, very, very creamy, full of creamy milk. Take it, drink it. Boniface went through his cup easily because
You was
he
used to
could.
it.
I also said, okay, I'll take it. Oh, goodness me. No sooner had I finished than I poured it all out again,
I know.
vomited. I don't know, that appeared to have been the cure. Thereafter, I took it without vomiting. And I started, and just now, we keep lots of sour milk from our dairy, and it doesn't make me vomit anymore. But the fresh milk will make me vomit, unless I take it either boiled or take it with something else. Well, that's that. Sweets here and there, yes, sugar here and there, we need a bit. And a simple diet, some vegetables. Saza no muriwo, kwete kungoramba uchinzi muriwo every day. I want to know. I complain also to the cooks. They like mixing this, rape and spinach cooked together. Hakuna muriwo inever command. And sometimes you feel like going into the kitchen and cooking for yourself. And I did this, you see, cooking for myself as a bachelor. I married quite late in life. I don't know whether it's because I didn't want someone to cook for me, but it was very late in life that I married. I was over 30. And I've been a bachelor along the way, and yes, I had a boy here and there helping with cooking, but I also like to cook for myself.
Mm-hmm. Just looking, as you rightly point out, that you've been informed of this health.
And of course, yes, I didn't read, and exercise.
Exercise.
Oh yeah, that I have been doing throughout my life. You see. when we were in Maputo, I used to run up 17 stairs every morning, and that's where we had our administration right up. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you see, the lifts didn't work, and so it helped me to. I couldn't walk, and I remember Tungugara wondering at the agility I had to run upstairs. Mm-hmm. But it became part of my exercise. But I was able to do that because I was doing just ordinary exercises. Mm-hmm. You don't jog along the road. You're a wanted person, and the eruditions wanted us, and we used to change homes. Samora used to saying, "Oh no, they know where you are now. You go to another house," and so on. Mm-hmm. So jogging was dangerous, jogging outside, but you must do stationary run in the home. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But just linking up the lifestyle, the way healthy living, from a family point of view, you do have dairy, and I think at one time you were doing pigs.
Yes, at one time. I have pigs at home.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Is this informed by this lifestyle?
No, that's just having something to do, and having some life at home. Just imagine, there is nobody at home except one or two girls looking after the place. And life is very dull, it's very quiet. But you must have it. She can run. Yes, you have the ordinary road runners. Mm-hmm. And they are running around the home. But those are not the ones. We keep also chickens that produce eggs. I want layers, rather. And we buy them from Wagon or from Evans at the laying stage. And then they go on laying. Then the boys, there's a boy and a girl looking at the home, but we have about a couple boys also who look at the plot and do the agriculture at home. We about 13.5 hectares at home that we plow every year. We plant maize, and then after maize, wheat. We draw water directly from river. Manyami is close by. Then I do piggery. It's Vashandawa, who is deputy minister of agriculture, who interested me in pigs. And chief of protocol is the one who suggested that I talked to Ajanda, and it so happened that Ajanda, Muzukuru, another person who got married to a relative, Okumusha. So he brought me a couple pigs to start my piggery. And it's several years back now, and I've sustained it. A few years ago, when the cost of the feed and the feed we buy from the millers, they grind soybean and others and the mixtures. When that went up in price, terribly high, I wanted to give it up. So I started reducing my piggery from about 400 to 20. Then something in me said, but this is failure. Must I accept failure? I said, no. Okay. We do our own grinding of maize. We have a small grinding machine, and then we mix with what we buy from the millers, and we feed the pigs. But just now we are at about 300, 350. We can go up to a maximum of 500.
500.
Yeah, but we haven't reached that yet. So that's that. We have a piggery, we have a chicken run, and the eggs seem to yield much more value than the pigs.
Mm-hmm.
The pigs are quite cheap because so many people have piggeries, and if you send your pigs to Qualcomm, you don't get very much per pig. You get perhaps $200 or less dollars, and you'll have fed a pig, you know.
About the same.
Oh, no, the cost of feeding a pig up to the time it's ready for sale is much higher, probably 300 or thereabout. But we sell to local butcheries. They pay a little more than 200. Mm-hmm. But it depends on the weight of the pig you're selling. Mm-hmm. But we grow very nice pigs. And it's
the so-called independent local press, just coming on to a different subject, and media houses went to town when you tripped it, but managed to break your fall upon your return from the AU meeting early this month. Did this in any way affect your work schedule?
No, of course. Just that slight fall, missing a step, and I've fallen many times. In the house, you sleep, or your foot, is held by a carpet which is misplaced, and so on, or you hit against something, the corner of even a table, and you stumble. So haven't you fallen? I would want to see a person who has not fallen down. Then he doesn't live on this world. So I don't see the reason why anyone should be surprised that the president has fallen.
Deriving from your parties.
Anyway, it doesn't worry me at all. Okay. I didn't. It wasn't a dangerous fall. It was just a slight fall, missing a step. And there happened to be a carpet that combined with it. And I frog landed. I exercise every day, so it didn't worry me at all.
Now, deriving from the party's 2013 manifesto, government crafted Zim Asset and is in the process of implementing it. Some argue that the weakness of the program is failure to get funding, for example, to resuscitate closed or ailing industries. Do you see the country overcoming this challenge?
Yeah, you must look at Zim Asset as all embracing. It's not just industry. It's agriculture. It's infrastructure. It's mining. Yes, it's factory building, manufacturing. it's the manufacturing side that is low, that is letting us down. And in a sense also the mining sector is not as well controlled now as it used to be, until of course we went into the inclusive government, which liberalized, and we had ASAP and all that, and people were free to do what they liked in mining. And Makorokoza then increased in number. They were smuggling to our gold to South Africa. Those were things that were happening. But we are controlling things now, and in mining, and Fidelity is once again been given the monopoly that it once had in the past. And gold can only be sold to Fidelity. But we are aware that there are still leakages, areas we must guard, and guard very closely, because they are the cause of leakages in regard to gold. The diamonds, that is a very difficult industry. We are reorganizing it. So we have just the state and one or two partners with the state producing diamonds right across. That's how it is in South Africa. That's how it is in Botswana, Namibia, etc. You don't have Ferrari Rariwan Wajitagama diamonds. So we are reorganizing that, but it will take us time to be full swing. You must have the proper machinery. Just now is alluvial. Barugita sukungu tora jecha kusefa.
Korokoza.
Mano, even alluvial, even those who are the mining companies, only the Chinese were doing the conglomerate. The conglomerate, you see, you can mine diamonds in three ways. Where you have diamonds on the surface in the sand, that's alluvial. Then where the diamonds are found in stoneworks, and you have ridges of stones or little mountains. You break the stonework. That was what Anjin was doing, the Chinese. That was a conglomerate.
Okay.
It's still alluvial, except that the stones and the diamonds came together. Now, the third is kimberlite.
The pipes.
That's the best. Now, this alluvial, naturally on the surface, the diamonds have a coating, a dirty coating, which you must clean. So it's not very clean. You get gems and industrial diamonds along the way. So even a conglomerate is not as clean as kimberlite. But there's no kimberlite just now as I talk. And yet we have lots of deposits in kimberlite. It's very easy to do alluvial. So based on Bada Anjin, Anjin does conglomerate. It's all kunusefaifu and there is no more very much alluvial unless we discover other places. But we know of diamonds that have been discovered by De Beers. And De Beers had taken all the information, Konana Wits University, and hidden the papers from us. But fortunately, some people clever enough have stolen the papers and sent them to us. And we have the maps now of where the diamonds are. Across the country, there is hardly a province which doesn't have diamonds. Hardly. But of course, mining must be deep now.
Deep.
And you need real heavy machinery. And also you need experienced people. And that's why I say for now, actually, and perhaps for even in the future, the main mineral we should rely on, most rely on, is gold. Gold is also almost everywhere, and more alluvial than diamond alluvial. So alluvial river beds alluvial elsewhere and easier to mine. It's not very deep down. Yes, some may be very, very deep, some gold seams, but most of our gold is still on the surface. So it's easier to mine and also easier to process. That's why you have so much of it being smuggled out. And we also have had lots of mining companies. Most of these companies on Anglo and Rio Tinto and Alondro made lots of money, fortunes out of our gold. But then we were still a colony, settler colony. But once we got free, then they started selling and going away. Was they knew we were going to insist on the ownership of our resources, and that Africans must take ownership of the mining sector in the same way as we have taken ownership of the land and agriculture. So you have to look at Zim asset from the point of view of multiple facets that we are pursuing in order for us to get the necessary wealth with which we can then develop our country and our people. Agriculture is doing well. Except for the fact that the climatic conditions are not that constant. We have more drought seasons than good rain seasons. We thought this year was going to be a good rain season, to give us a good rain season, but apparently our expectations have been dashed. The period in which we are, February, should have been really the middle now of the rain season with very heavy rains. And wakuraiti ndiye kubvumbi, February. When you mean Vumbi, Vumbi Wemvora, that means persistent rains from day to day. But it's persistent sunshine. We don't know whether the skies will be promising in a few days. Mm-hmm. Those in the meteorological service, well, tell us, oh, the clouds, there are clouds in the south, the clouds elsewhere. But it's still clouds, clouds, clouds. Then don't bring us rain. And it's a bad year for our region also. Whereas in the north, Zambia had a good rain season, and Malawi had even floods. In the southern part, it has been disaster. Botswana, a worse disaster than ourselves. Mm-hmm. South Africa, very bad. I'm told that the main province which produces most of the maize is the Orange Free State. But I'm told that about 40–50% of the crop withered for lack of moisture, lack of rain. Mm-hmm. Right? Well, for us, well, the tobacco apparently will do better than maize. I don't know, soybean, I'm sure, will be a failure. But we have had some rain for us to undertake the growing of wheat as from end of March on, and that is always through irrigation. Our dams are full, and so if we can get our people to do as much wheat growing as possible, we can improve on the performance of last year. Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, that's agriculture. Cotton also has been affected. So cotton, tobacco, maize, tobacco, if these three were to do well, the two that give us cash out of the three would always be tobacco and cotton. Maize, the price is not, of maize cannot be too high, because it's our food, it's for subsistence, our own sustenance, and it should not be inaccessible to the average family, and therefore the price of maize should be kept as low as possible. And so we cannot rely on it as a yielder of cash. It's not a cash crop. Mm-hmm. No.
But looking at the agricultural landscape, you look at the communal farmer and you realize that over the years, the communal farmer has been the biggest contributor to the food basket. Mm-hmm. They have also been one of the major players in cotton. And now you're beginning to see that as far as the tobacco output is concerned, they're actually beginning to become also the biggest player as far as that is concerned. But the problem always is that the communal farmer remains on the peripheries of agriculture because they are unable to get in and access loans because they do not have collateral, which is a requirement that is put by the banks. Do we have anything that we have from government that will enable the communal farmer to transform from being a subsistence farmer to becoming a formidable player on the agrarian platform?
Sure. The reorganization of of farming, which has come about as a result of the ownership of land now being given to the people, has also yielded a sector which combines with the communal one in producing food for us, that is maize in large quantities. That is the A1 farmer. I think the A1 farmer, together with the communal farmers have little land now left. If you can get a farmer who still has the 4 acres they used to have, I would be surprised, because as families grew larger than before, the sons took over. The children were given portions of the 4 hectares. And if you get a family owning 2 hectares, 2 acres, then that family is in the communal area still has lots of land. But I would want to believe at least an acre is possible as an average that they have. And also now their means of tillage seem to have grown poorer, because those who went to the resettlement were from the communal areas by and large. And here and there, they might have shared the implements and even the cattle with the home. But looking at the resettlement farms areas which are next to us at home, it appears that the A1 farmers started just from zero, with nothing but the piece of land given to them, the 6 hectares. Now they have 6 hectares, which is quite a lot of land, as compared to the 4 acres the communal families had. Were yakauya marain. Marain akauya kuamba kuma 1940s, ndo pakauya marain. Wanaipiwa 4 acres. Kaenda kwa waipiwa 6 acres. Wakanga wakataramkana kusina vanu vazhinji. So it was 4 acres on the average. And then it was insisted that they carry out a rotation system. Maize. I think Rapoko, groundnuts or groundnuts Rapoko. Some grew cotton instead of the second acre maize. But quite often it was maize. And they used organic manure, not fertilizer. Mm-hmm. And they used to produce very good yields per acre. Then the rotational system requires that where you have put legumes, groundnuts or nyemba, you don't put manure, cocoa, because as we are taught in biology, in botany, they fix nitrogen in the soil. And get it from the air, fix it into the soil, and they enrich the soil with legumes. So where you have removed legumes, you either have rapoko or you have maize, the leaf crops. The crops with bigger leaves or so, right? And they carried out, you see, very strictly, this rotation. But now you have even some of them growing tobacco. But most of it is being grown now from our A1 farmers. And devoting perhaps an acre or 2 acres, but most of them is still, a hectare or 2 hectares. But for now, most of them is still just about 1 hectare to tobacco. And they're growing tobacco systematically. They get the advice. Is it Kushinga Research? They get advice there as to the kind of tobacco. Virginia has its own versions too. This is Virginia, this Virginia, that Virginia, that. But it needs curing, and it's there where we have a problem now. They do not have the resource of curing other than wood. And so they must cut down. Tifunga kuti tapedza patakavamba independence yedu, and we had the chiefs, the headmen and people, and they all agreed to prevent the cutting down of trees and bush. And what areas which had become near deserts had started, growing up and booming with bush and regrowing of cut down trees and becoming green again. And if you had seen the state Yekuchiota, Kachurumanzu, Mondoro, and you go there now, these years of independence, the trees really have been recovering, and with them the grass, tall grass for the cattle. But now has come another danger to the forests and bush, the cutting down of trees in order to get fuel for curing tobacco. But we are trying to urge the A1 farmers to use coal instead. I hope we succeed, but the coal must be bought, whereas trees are not bought, they are just cut down in the areas where they are. But we must prevent that and even punish people who cut down trees. Mm-hmm. So anyway, there it is. Tobacco is thriving. Cotton, yes. We thought we were recovering it, and some people had given it up, and they started growing tobacco also, even Matabeleland. And then you have the A2 farmers. Those are commercial farmers. I think the farms we gave the people were too large. They can't manage them as they are. And most of them can just, are able to use probably 1/3 for purposes of cropping. But of course, we are people who love beasts, who love cattle. You are not a man if you don't have two beasts or so. Are you a man? You are not judged. Your manhood is not just the fact that you can make children. You must make children in an environment in which you provide them. And the backbone of the family is the cattle you have. Even if you have 3 or 4, you at least say, well, I have some cattle, I'm building up. But if you have 0, you're a 0 man. And don't even look me in the face. Because you don't know how to become a man.
Yes, Your Excellency. The ruling party has amended its constitution, and it has removed from it the clause making a requirement that the second one of the 2 vice presidents is a woman. Does this in any way go against the principle of women empowerment?
I don't think we have removed it. We have just ignored it for now. Ignored it because of the circumstances. Where the woman, she grew too ambitious, did not want to bide the time to see the president either retire or die. Soon after the elections, the president had won. She wanted to take over. Even the timing in his strategy. The man has just won the election. You want to push him out. You think it's that easy. Oh, you think because he's 90 years old, 90 tons, and now he's going to be 91 even, 91 tons right here. Aminoaga Fudiramayava. I see, not that she qualified. There were men who had been more experienced and were more capable than she was, but we wanted to groom her there. Yeah. I suppose the fact that now she had gone to university, now she had managed to become a doctor of some learning, and she thought, oh, I can now become president. It's not those things which count. They only count afterwards. You must be a person with the capacity, necessary capacity and experience. Apart from that, you must be a disciplinarian, obedient to the rules of the party. A good disciplinarian is one who first applies that discipline to himself or herself. You apply it to oneself. You don't go against the rules of the party. You follow the procedures of the party. You obey the hierarchy of the party. You don't plan a coup d'etat. We're still planning assassination. We haven't done so. When we differed in ZAPU, we said we differed. We talked about it, and we decided to form another party, ZANU. And so there was ZANU, there was ZAP. We went to the election, and true, the people supported us, and we got 57 seats out of 80 seats that were assigned in the constitution, in the agreement Yekulanka start to the Africans. The 20 seats were reserved for the whites. So out of the 80 we got 57 and ZAPU got 20. So we still said we are a patriotic front. Let's put our seats together. So 57 plus 20. We had that say. What is the number?
77.
77. And the whites had 20. And that makes it 97.
97.
Where the three, Reverend Mzole was blessed by the Almighty. He got 3 seats for his trouble. The Boers in South Africa had given him 3 helicopters. So each helicopter at least managed to get him 1 seat. So there it was. And the people who had sacrificed most, who had established Zanla and Zipra, are the ones who got 77. And the British wanted their sons and daughters, the whites, not to be humiliated that quickly. They said, they must be given 20 seats and all the others must not fight for those seats. They are just for the whites. Discrimination, racialism at an election time. So after we recognized it, we said, fine, 20. But those 20 would last only for 7 years. After 7 years, we could change. So they were meant not to make the whites weep. And after 7 years, well, anything can happen. They could join the other parties or stand on their own and fight for the common seats now. Anyway, that's that. Our women, we did lots for our women. We said from day one, equal work, man, woman doing the same work, equal pay.
Mm-hmm. You've spoken out very strongly against factionalism and factional leaders. At this moment, do you feel that the party has dealt decisively with the demon of factionalism?
No, there is still lots of it. Lots of it. We haven't dealt with, addressed the factionalism as it has existed. Pines kuneva kwa mai mjuru kuita kwa Minister Mnangagwa when he was still a minister. Kwa Minister Mnangagwa avana kuvurumukirago kuti vatore upresident vangoti tono. Ava vakumudzimai uyu ndovakaita mashiripiti kuenda kun'anga unotora maNigerians kuti vauye muno vachiurayiswa huku hwai ropa kumapurazi ikoku iyafai ndi Mugabe iyafai mukadzi wake iyafai ndi Mnangagwa iyafai vese Mushaona kufa kwavanoita maNigerians iwayo vakachinjira, and you pay them for all that nonsense. Saka muri kupira here waidza muri kuuraya kuna Mwari achazoti tanzwa chichemo chenyu, chipiro chenyu chokuti vafe, vachazorabuka. Koma Mugabe havanawo Mwari wavo, inga vanoendawo kuchechi vachikumbira Mwari kuti avape utano, kuti tive nerunyararo, tirege kuva nemagandanga anouraya vamwe. So that's the difference. Kunoita vamwe vanoda power. Zvino ava vadhara vangu ava vekwamakoni vangozviwo makomboseni ameno. Tiri kunzwa kuti vakuda kuti they want to establish their own party. Well and good. And they want it to be called ZANU PF. There is already ZANU PF in existence, and ours will be ZANU Patriotic First. Patriotic First. Kungoda PF chete iyoyo kuti irambe iripo. Of course, that's nonsense. Even the court will throw that away and say, there is no difference.
At this moment, do you feel that the party has dealt decisively with the demon of factionalism?
No, there is still lots of it. Lots of it. We haven't dealt with addressed the factionalism as it has existed. Painzi kuneve kwa mai mjuru kuita kwa Minister Mnangagwa when he was still a minister. Kwa Minister Mnangagwa havana kuvhurumukirako kuti vatore upresident, vangoti tono. Ava vakumudzimai uyu ndovakaita mashiripiti kuenda kun'anga unotora maNigerians kuti vauye muno vachiurayiswa huku, hwai, ropa kumapurazi ikoku, yafa iyi ndiMugabe, yafa iyi mukadzi wake, yafa iyi ndiMnangagwa, yafa iyi vese. Mushaona kufa kwavanoita maNigerians iwayo vakachinjira, and you pay them for all that nonsense. Saka muri kupira here waidza muri kuuraya kuna Mwari achazoti tanzwa chichemo chenyu, chipiro chenyu chokuti vafe, vachazorabuka. Koma Mugabe havanawo Mwari wavo, inga vanoendawo kuchechi vachikumbira Mwari kuti avape utano, kuti tive nerunyararo, kuva nemagandanga anouraya vamwe. So that's a difference. Kunoita vamwe vanoda power. Zvino ava vadhara vangu ava vekwamakoni vangozviwo makomboseni ameno. Tiri kunzwa kuti vakuda they want to establish their own party. Well and good. And they want it to be called ZANU PF. There is already ZANU PF in existence, and ours will be ZANU Patriotic First. Patriotic First. Kungoda PF chete iyoyo kuti irambe iripo. Of course, that's nonsense. Even the court will throw that away and say, there is no difference. Amweni wekwabhuru wangu Tsvangirai wakaita njere. Akanzi aiwa, isu ndisu MDC. Atangoita chete renew. But the MDC renewal ndisu tatanda Tsvangirai. Ndokuvaita meeting yavo yokutanda Tsvangirai. Tsvangirai ndokuita yake yokuvatanda uyu. Zvinovatanda vamwe ndevapipo. Zvino ndiri kunzwa kuti vamutasa vari kuti isu ndisu ZANU chaiye iyi iripo iyi it's illegal. Saka isu tese tiri illegal. Kwaivo vari kupi kwairi kupi ZANU yavo hatiri kuiona. Anyway, it's a kind of ambition cum foolishness. You are in a party that has done well at a recent election, marvelously well. And you want to divide that party. We are saying no. We've appointed about 2 vice presidents. Yes, we have not appointed a woman because just now we want to remedy the situation. But it doesn't mean that the future cannot see a woman appointed as vice president. No. Our constitution would not say the women cannot. The women can fight even in the ordinary way, like everybody else in the party, to be elected to any position in the party. Mm-hmm. This was an affirmative action where there are 3 appointees per section, per department or section A department. 1 must be a woman. That was to try and facilitate, accelerate the pace of women improvement. Mm-hmm. So, but there are no tears anyway on the part of the party. Nobody is shedding tears. If anything, there is jubilation that of course, there are lots of other people who belong to the group some were being told that our president was to retire just now, and my mjuru wari kuita take over since ndivo vanga vari vice voga. Saka vamwe vakavamba kuti okay, tozvigadzira isi tingadewo kuti tinozova zvigaro zvakati. Saka we don't take issues with those people because vanga vatendi vafurirwa kuti chokwadi the president was going. Vamwe vaibva vaudzwa kuti president vakatiudza kuti vakuritaya mazvona. So vakazotendera izvozvo vachisapota zvinhu kuti fine, kana zvirizvo we support change, we prepare for change. They didn't do any wrong, and so we can't go hunting everybody, no. But we know those who started being anti the presidency, anti Mugabe, Sanaka Ukondi, and vairwa misuse vanamuliswa na sekuru ake vamutasa. Vamutasa was in my office. I didn't even know where he had gone. Takagadzira tese, we sat at meetings of preparing for Congress together. Ndiye waitovaka secretary for administration. Ndichimubvunza kuti zviri kufamba sei, vachiti aiwa zviri kunaka. Then just a few days before Congress, I don't see the person. Kwaenda kupi? Waenda kupi? He didn't tell me anything. Tozoudzwa kuti na paranyarwa kuti vamutasa vandifonera vati vakaita BP. Ko kana vaita BP vobva vatadza kuudza president, you are not just secretary for administration, you are also minister in the president's office in charge of security. It doesn't matter how disappointed you are, at least you must say that you are going.
Looking at this, Your Excellency, we have seen in the last year the entry of Dr. Amai into the deep politics. Has this in any way changed the family? And the other questions are, did you sanction her entry into politics?
No, I never sanctioned anyone. Even my sisters, I used to tell them, kana mchida kuita politics, don't ever say matuma nini. Ayo, it's up to you. Go into politics if you so want, but I will not say, I will not push you into politics. No.
Sure.
It's the same. Akati madzimai vandivinga vari kuti ndivatungamirire, ndikati ndikanzi ndopfuma here, ndikati it's up to you, decide. Then talked to other women later, and she said, okay, they are insistent, I think I go along. So it was her own choice. But of course, kumba tinotaura politics kakuti zvinhu zvakamira sei, kana unyang'anya uroyi wanga huripo takati tinotaura, we share ideas. So when she went out, indicted my way, vataura too early. Vakanyetedzwa, akamboita meeting zvakanaka. But meno kwakazonorizwa ngoma kana kumwe vachimunyetedza. And ndo zvatushurwa, tikati ngatushura, takati takamira kuti tichazvitaura nenguva yazvo. But it was just as well.
And now, coming from another angle, there's this now that the First Lady is now deemed the power behind your throne. And
it's not power behind my throne. she has come into politics in her own right.
And some sections of the media would want people to believe that she is
what?
She's now driving both the party and government decision-making process.
Where? She has only appeared on behalf of the women. The women asked her to go around telling people that, she has agreed, and addressing people. That's all she did.
Historically,
but people see a lot in that. Why? Why should they think that because of what she has done, she is now the power? She has not come yet into the real heart of things. She has attended one meeting here, Politburo, and she couldn't attend it fully because she's not yet strong enough. But we admitted her into the Politburo because the leader of the women as the leader of the youth automatically become members or a member of the Politburo. And that's all. But I suppose the dynamism with which she came out started giving people all kinds of ideas. She was to be the successor. She's the driving force behind the presidency. All the things the president is doing. No. No, we have our machinery of the party, which continues to work. We decide, we discuss. Now that I have two vice presidents, I get the ideas, and then we say, this is what we take the Politburo.
Your Excellency, historically, you look at yourself, about most of the attacks that have been coming out from the Western world, from the independent media, has been directed at you. All the fire was coming to you. Now there appears now that the First Lady has come in. She's beginning to take fire. As husband, do you feel hurt?
No. Feel hurt. Why feel hurt? More hurt than before.
That she is now beginning to take punches as well.
Unjustified attacks, we dislike. But we have known to absorb them. I have always said, if you want to stay in politics, and I was telling Mutasa this also, you must have an inside built system absorbing my insults. If you don't have that absorptive system, and then in politics, as a leader, you just go heart failure. But we have been hardened. We've been hardened by Ian Smith. They handled us very roughly, thrust us into prison. We went into situations of hardship. Masango very poor food and so on. And ikoko kune insults ako from the others. Aningwajita, you look ambitious guy, ambitious. But you don't. Even my frontline states, Maitituka. But it's time where you know your commitment, and that's all. Uno single wakuita gandari kakata. You should be hardened. If any insult in the paper, abuse in the paper, sends you to bed and you have a sleepless night, then you are not for it. You're not a person we can rely upon as a politician, as courageous. You must build courage. Have courage, and yes, they come, they rebound. The insults, the abuses. The British have said and done all they could. But you stick to principle. You say, you must stand on principle, of course. If you're not standing on principle, then you get shaken. And if you are not solid in your stand, you can also easily be brought in a marriage.
Your Excellency, the issue of succession always crops up, with some within and outside the party saying or feeling that you now have a choice of someone to take over when you choose to retire.
I have a choice. The party has a choice, not me. I don't choose. I've said I don't choose my successor. Never. I will discuss with others, yes. Members of the Politburo, those I regard as wise people. Who can we support? When Mpoko finally got it, and where I pointed him, I had listened to lots of views, Zevan, Matebelland, and Kumas, Triple-land, North Matebelland, South, Western, Kumafunza. And to compare. One wife with SK was going to get it. One wife SK has no record, Shaiwe struggle. Mohadi. I talked to Mohadi. I talked to Mpoko. I talked to NK. I talked to Nanam Sipa. And finally, to me, the man who had a good record in the past, long, and a record which sustained itself right up to the end, was Mpoko. It was Mpoko versus Mohadi. Mohadi, when I asked him, said yes, Mpoko had been his instructor at one time. But he said now he's ambassador and a minister. I have had more experience in Duraga Tauro. I told SK that no, he was viewed by many as part of the Gamma Talks thing, because he was very close. But we couldn't just damn everybody. Others we want to give a chance. We gave them a chance. But we abolished the chairmanship. Yeah, as it was. One of the vice presidents will be chairman of the party. And that's how we used to have it in the past anyway. Takazon's chairmanship at the time. Yatakaita December 1987 agreement yedu, unity agreement. Bankomo was vice president. Now, ku party kwao angari vice president wa Msika. So we decided to give him another position, chairman, to make chairman. Chairman, now. Although when we founded ZANU-PF, we had made Chitepo the chairman of the party. But we lost it 1977 when we discussed Kuchimoyo, the restructuring and revival of the party. Wakumana wakanga wasungwa ku Zambia wa Buddha. So I talked to them, to others, and we got the view that that's how I operate. I don't just say on my own, so-and-so is my successor. Know ye people of Zimbabwe that so-and-so who occupies this position will my successor. A successor can come from any level of the party, but usually the top levels. The Central Committee, the Politburo. It may not be any either of the VP. It's up to the people to choose who they think at a particular time is the most suitable candidate for the presidency. Or discuss that. That's how it should be. I was not appointed successor by anyone. It was the party's our own tradition. I see you, father, anoti nakayangu ichasogarwa nani. Kaisi nakayo munhu kai. Anyway, that's that.
Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot.
At this point, we take a short break. Welcome back, Your Excellency.
Thank you.
Just as we were talking before we went for the break, we were talking about what was happening during the liberation struggle. In 1976, we had the Vashandi rebellion taking place. There is another rebellion around about 1978, just around the time of the Malta Conference. Rugare Gumbo is among the rebels. And today, the same Rugare Gumbo is fingered in a plot to oust you from power. He accuses you of being an unforgiving person. This story has never really been told in full. Briefly, what happened then, and is there any correlationship with the events of 2014?
Well, it's the same man wanting to repeat himself. What he doesn't know is that I was personally responsible for getting him back, and even for giving him that position which he had. Some people wondered whether I was doing the right thing. For a new person, we make him, I think the position he had then was secretary for, was it information? Right. And he was using that position then in Berengwa to get people to support him. And achiti ndinda mkuru wezvakati mu Politburo. That's when I said, the positions we are giving you, some of you are younger people than those others we had in the struggle. But we are giving you these positions because we want the energy in you to benefit us and the people in your working harder, you see, for the party. But that's not a recognition of the positions as we used to know them. That's why you had the likes of Anna Webster Shamu, Varim Commissariat, Variva Kuru, Kuma provinces kwese. But tichiti ukuru wako ukomisa, ukurire ukuru, wevamwe vanita hold lower positions party. So don't think you are superior to them. And they recognized it, most of them, but he did not. And I didn't know. You see, he has some kind of vengeance against Ranana Mnangagwa and others for his defeat Kumberengwa, and he carries that into the party. I have had no real act of retribution against him. And for that matter, when we all were back from Mozambique on the eve of the election in 1980, the late Comrade Mzenda and I discussed the fate of political fate of those we held in prison in Mozambique. Because Ivo was 77, 78 Anglo-American proposals. Ndopa wakaita the Hamaziripi Rugare Gumbo attempted coup d'etat. I think we had gone to Malta. And of course we imprisoned them. We did the first group, Najino, we handed over to the Mozambicans. But this group now, Takati, we will imprison them ourselves. And Takachera Gomba Pasi, deep, as deep as here, Parapasi, Ugazira in Baipapu, Nogisa Mbeda Ipapu, Mukati Macho. So Tara Pass, Sazat, Bagvari Mugomba, Takata Chira, Riemba in prison. And we didn't even tell Samora this time about them at all. We kept them imprisoned. 78, 77, 77, 77 to 78. But because of 1980, Lord Soames, who was here operating from here, said he wanted these to come out first. Achifunga kuti tikawabudisa ava first, panoita mbiri yokuti vanga vakasungwa ndipo vatora great support. But you will know of you if you don't know of the crowds that greeted Nkomo and myself. First Nkomo came first, then I came later. Highfield. Right? Some asked Samora to release them first. And Samora said, no, I will not release them. And in India, no, I should not come. I should not come. Narulu Soames at that time, I should not come yet. Why? Because he wanted these out first. So Samora said, I can only release them if you will agree. When I group ZANU-PF led by President Mugabe to also return at the same time. That's how what happened. So we were released. They were released. Your Soames agreed. So we came back same day. Now, when we were here, Bamzenda and myself talked the matter of their political future. And we said, fine, we imprison them. I think let's go and ask them together. Live Jameson Hotel. Kumono Watapa. We have a meeting with them. So we had a meeting now on Amatiripi, Gumba and others. We want you now to join us. Matuone and this Makanga Mambatiramba Mazutuoni. We want to support. No, we just want you to join us and come back to where you used to belong. That's nokuti maona zvino kuti tinokwane tine vanhu vari kutitevera. Tikati, oh, okay, go your way. So he went the way of Hamadziripi, went the Mzorewa way. He went, I think, the Istole way. And Stolle got 0. nachikere zero. Musore wakabuda nenhatu dzandandichitaura dzemahelicopter ake pama-elections. So they got lost. So they were in the wilderness, and Amadziripi died in that wilderness. Yaiti, you come please to the funeral. I said, no, I'm sorry he died, but I will not go to the funeral. Tekamuti, okay, now you come join. In that Dopakawia. It was not Mamjuru who brought him, it was Comrade Mzenda and myself. And that nonsense he's writing is just misplaced. I didn't have any rancor. He had his own fight with Comrade Mnangagwa. And the others were saying, no, he wanted to do his own thing outside. You know, the provincial executive program. Those are why he wanted to do his own thing. But he was no intimidate now and so on. So they have their fight, provincial fight, province call. I was surprised that in fact he had acquired this animosity towards me. I think it is just the fact that he was now very close to Kunamai Mjuru. And being that close, he had to share, of course, the fact that my Mjuru wanted me out. And you don't want some person out without alleging something. And the allegation is quite a false one. Anyway, he is there. He is the man who was talking about doing to me what those youngsters did to Kabila Baba. And he's saying it loudly. It's recorded. It's from me to Kabila. And just the lack even of, the security, the sense of security yake, very loose. Unengo uchitaura izvozvo zvokuti tinogona kumuuraya publicly. Unofunga kuti vanhu vanozvitora sei? Vanokuvhunduka kakuti ndopfungwa dzavo nadzo idzi. Anyway, he is an incorrigible person, and we leave him as that incorrigible person. But of course we continue to watch what he is doing and what his intentions are.
Finally, Your Excellency, you have been subject of vilification by the West for a decade and a half, yet both SADC and recently the African Union repose their faith in your leadership. Do you feel justified or vindicated for your lifelong stance and fight against colonialism and neocolonialism? And do you think that this is an indication that Africa is ready for a swing back to its roots, to the golden age of the founding fathers?
Yes, I feel very much vindicated. The stand I have held is a stand of principle. I am a Zimbabwean. I belong to Zimbabwe. The resources in my country are our resources. We are a sovereign country, and our independence and sovereignty is equal to the independence and sovereignty of any country in the world. Small though we are, those are the principles that guided me. I stood by them. The land is ours. It's not British land. And that's why I said to Blair, he can keep his England, we keep our land. Because Zimbabwe doesn't belong to the British anymore. It belongs to the people of Zimbabwe. And as the people of Zimbabwe, we must develop our natural resources without let or hindrance from any quarter. So, imperialism and colonialism have no place in Zimbabwe. And we say down with it, down with imperialism, down with colonialism. And that's the stand our people took, the majority of them. There are others who were shaky, who thought, no, we muna arikuti endesam kwati chazonge tichitambudzika. Yes, takaendesa vanhu kwavakatambudzika, vari kutambudzikira nyika yavo, and there could never be the degree of suffering equal to that which saw lots of youngsters die for their country, lots of people in various areas, in keeps, out of keeps, being killed, being subjected, to suffering by the imperialists during the liberation struggle. And so our people endured it, and our people managed to stick to their resources, especially land. And this is what imperialists don't know about us, that our survival is not equal to the survival of persons in urban areas with no recourse to any other possible source of survival. We are not that fully urbanized. We have one leg in Harare, Bulawayo, Gweru, Mutare, and another leg kwa Mrewa, kwa Mtoko, kwa Zimba, kwa Gutu. We do not regard Harare, the majority of us, as our home. We regard Zimba, Gutu, Mrewa, Mtoko as our homes. And there is our survival. We eat with our people in the bush, in the reserves. As I was saying, you are not a man without some cattle, because we are rural. in a sense, a rural people as well. And that's why we have not fallen. If we were entirely dependent on resources that are brought into town and we no longer had homes in the rural areas, we would have perished long ago. But with that ability given us by our own system, our women and men also in the informal sector ensured that they used their hands, they used their brains, and survived. And today we say, to the surprise of the whites, we are even better, in spite of sanctions, than the countries which don't have sanctions in Africa. We are much more highly educated than any other country in Africa, if not in the whole of the developing world. And they wonder how we did it. And also, we are a people with energies, full of energy, full of the desire to work. We are hard workers. You don't just say, there is this problem, and sit and allow the problem to eat you up and kill you. No. You say, I must get means of survival. Unfortunately, we have them. Kumusha. Yes, other people have, even our people in Africa are surprised that we survived. But they are even more surprised that I resisted to the end and did not give in because of the machinations of our enemies. I didn't surrender to them because of that. Yes, it was painful in mind and body, to be restricted by some people who have no business, to be doing those things that they have done on your country and on yourselves. Just the fact that some people in Europe and in America say, thou shalt not go to this place or that place, is completely undesirable and completely against international law. So, because of our own action here, because of also the fact that the sanctions were unmerited, undeserved, illegal, and completely unjust and unjustifiable, we are what we are. And that's why we say we shall never be a colony again. We can tell the British that to their face. We are not afraid of them. They are afraid of us, in a sense, small as we are. Yes, Africa must have equal commitment and equal degree of sacrifice. If first we are to preserve Africa for the Africans, African resources for Africa, I must create that environment of freedom and independence, and cooperate in that environment as Africans, put our resources together and build Africa from our resources. Yes, with the help of those countries which would want to be associated with us on equal terms. So I think we've been an encouragement to Africa, a pride also to Africa, and that's why Africa unanimously voted us as chair of the African Union. They are proud of us. Go anywhere else, you will hear how they praise Zimbabwe just because of the stand that we took against the British and their allies. And I do hope that our young people will learn from us and be tomorrow the purveyors of the legacy of our freedom and independence, with equal determination to stand against imperialism, equal determination to fight for the retention of their hard-won independence, so it's not interfered with by outsiders. That they can make friends, yes, with outsiders, with foreigners, provided the foreigners agree on equal terms to be their allies. And so we say to our young people, take care in the future of our legacy, and don't let those who are gone, who have died to create it, don't let them down.
Your Excellency, at this moment, I would like to take this opportunity on behalf of ZBC News and Current Affairs and on my own behalf to thank you very much for affording us this opportunity to host you on the occasion of your 91st birthday on this special program, Reflections at 91. Once more, Your Excellency, happy birthday and many happy returns.
I thank you very much, and I thank the people of Zimbabwe for the best wishes they have sent me, good wishes, and I return them by saying, God bless you all, and God bless Zimbabwe, God bless Africa. Thank you. President Mugabe. Michel.